All right, welcome back. Now, in the last video, we talked about what is a funnel. And by the way, if you haven't had a chance to read the Dot-Com Secrets book, I would recommend it because this is where we go deep into like what is a funnel. The whole concept of whoever spends the most money to acquire a customer wins is all talked about in here. And we talk about funnel structures, and like it's a really good book to help you understand the strategy behind funnels if you don't have it yet. So if you click on the button down below, there'll be a page where you can go get the book. I think it's $7.95 shipping and handling, but that's what this is all about, to help you understand funnel structure better. Now, one of the core concepts inside of here that I want to share with you, because it's such a key to understanding how funnels work, is a concept called the value ladder. And so the way the value ladder works, if you look at this image right here, on the left-hand axis you have value. This is how much value you're giving someone. As the arrow goes up, the higher the value is. On the bottom axis, it has price, and as you go to the right, the price gets more and more expensive. Now, most business owners, like, the most ideal thing would be able to provide the most amount of value for somebody and get the most amount of money, right? Like, for example, we have a coaching program. We charge $1 million to create somebody's funnel for them. And that's amazing, right? Like, in a perfect world, I could go to every single person and be like, hey, it's $1 million. I'll create a funnel for you, and it's going to be awesome. And the problem is, like, if I walked up to the and I saw you on the street for the first time, I'm like, hey, my name is Russell Brunson. I know I look like I'm 11 years old, but if you give me $1 million, I will build a funnel for you. You're going to think I'm insane, right? Because I provided zero value to you at this point. Yet that's what a lot of us as business owners are doing. We're coming and we're pitching our most expensive high thing and like shooting for the fences, but people have not received value from us, so they don't want that. So if you look at like how businesses work, it moved to this thing called the value ladder, where initially when someone first comes into your world, they're kind of testing the water and they're filling things out. So what you want to do is try to provide value for them right there for free. And if they get value, they tip their toe in the water and they're like, wow, that was really, really cool. I had a good experience with so-and-so, and they receive value. Us as humans, we naturally will want more. And we'll start sending up saying, well, that was a really good experience. Like, what else do you have? And we'll move up the value ladder where you have a chance to offer them more value, but they'll give you more money. And then if they receive value at that level, they'll naturally want more, and they'll keep moving through this ascension until you either stop selling them something or until you offend them. And that's how business works. And so for you, it's understanding this process of the value ladder. And you know this in the real world, right? If somebody came to you the first day and said, hey, what do you do for a living? You would tell them, and you try to explain some stuff and try to give them something where like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And you build some rapport, and there'd be some value there. And then the next thing you do is you could offer them something else, okay? It's the same thing like if and when you met your spouse, like the first time you met them, you know, the first thing you ask them on a date, and then you provide value. If they have a good time on the date, then you go on a second date, and it keeps going on until you get married, right? There's this logical progression. Yet for some reason online, we all forget that. All these like common sense rules fall out of the world because like, oh, they're pixels and they're things and it's traffic. But no, it's people. And you have to understand that. And so what happens is every single funnel is a value ladder. Okay? When somebody comes to my very first page, I'm saying, hey, my name is Russell Brunson. I want you to give me your email address. If I stop there, you receive no value. Like, why would I give you my email address? Okay, if you come to a page and I'm like, hey, my name's Russell, and I wrote a really cool report called blah, 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 whatever it is, and say, I'll give you this report for free. Just give me your email address and I'll send it to you. And you're like, huh, okay. You give me your email address. I send you this report. You get the report, you get some value. Like, that was really, really good. Russell's a cool dude. Then on the next page in the funnel, then it's like, hey, I just sent you the report. Go check it out. I think you're going to love it. But while you're here, I want to make a really special offer to you. And then I try to provide value again. Like, normally I sell this thing for blah, but I'm gonna give you a special discount because you're here right now. Or, you know, whatever that thing might be. Or because you're a first time subscriber, normally, you know, the first thing I wanna sell you is this thing. So like a lot of times in my business, I sell books for really, really cheap. Or we do, you know, if you're an offline business, maybe it's a free exam or whatever it is, but it's something you're providing value. Okay, and if someone gets that, they buy the next thing, and then the next page is like, hey, you just bought my book for $7.95. On the next page, it's like, hey, your book's coming, you're gonna love it, but you know, some people like to learn in a classroom situation. I have a home study course that's this, or whatever that thing might be, okay? Same thing works in e-commerce, okay? People always tell me, well, that works in information, but not in e-commerce. But the same thing works in e-commerce. One of our #1 ClickFunnels sellers right now, he built a huge funnel. It was one of the most successful funnels I've ever seen, and it started with a flashlight. Hey, this is a tactical flashlight. Would you like to buy it? And people bought the flashlight, and they started thinking, how else can I provide value to this person? And he started bringing them through a value ladder. He said, look, you bought a flashlight for this price. How'd you like a second one at 50% off? And boom, like half people said yes. And it's like, hey, now you got this flashlight. We want a kit, like a carrying case we can put it in? And people are like, oh yeah, sure, yes, boom. And they took the next thing. And he kept thinking, how else do I provide value? Hey, do you want rush shipping? Yes. Hey, do you want this? Yes. And so the value ladder is always thinking about that. So every time I'm working on a funnel, I'm thinking about this is like they see an ad, they see something, they click on something, they come to my page, the first page of my funnel, and I'm thinking, how do I provide this person value? What do I want in return? I want their email address, or maybe I want their credit card, or maybe I want them to register for a webinar, or maybe I want them, whatever the action is on that page, I'm thinking, how do I provide value to this person? And if I do it in a cool way, and they connect and they have a good experience, guess what? They're gonna wanna buy again and again, and that's how you build a business the right way, okay? And so as we do more and more of these trainings, we'll go more into Value Ladder, because Value Ladder is happening in a bunch of different places. It happens inside of your funnel. Every page in your funnel is the next step of a mini Value Ladder, okay? Also, and we'll talk about this in the next major training, after someone goes through your first funnel, then usually we have a second funnel, and that's a bigger piece of the value. So kind of like the micro and the macro. And so these things are happening all the time, but for right now, I just want you thinking about that. It's like every single interaction I have with somebody, I need to provide them value. And then if they like that, they will naturally ascend up and they want more value, and I can charge them more. And if they like that, I can provide them more, and we keep taking them through this process. Okay, that's how I can go right now and get people to pay me $1 million to build a funnel for them, because I provided value at all these levels. I provide value through my books, through my software, through my training, through my events. And now when it comes to there, it's like, yes, I trust Russell. I have rapport with him. He's awesome. I believe that he will do what he's going to do. And now they're willing to invest the big money. Okay? And so for your business, it's the same thing. And so you got to start thinking through that. And so I want you guys to just understand that concept of the value ladder. Okay? So your homework for right now is to map out a value ladder. Now, this is not talking about all the products and services you might sell them over the next 10 years. I'm talking about just this initial funnel. The funnel you started building in the last walkthrough, you have all these different pages, right? Depending on which funnel you picked inside the cookbook. And what you're thinking, okay, if someone lands on this page, what's the value I'm providing them in exchange for whatever's happening, their email address? Then if I go to the next page, what's the value I'm providing in exchange for them to give me their credit card? What's the value I'm providing to get them to buy the upsell? What's the value to get them to register for the webinar? Like whatever that thing is for your business, I want you thinking through that and writing out every single, like look at all the pages in that funnel and just think through, what's the value ladder I'm taking them through inside of this funnel? Okay, and that is the key. Now, in the next video, we're gonna talk about, now that you got the value, like how do we structure the offers, and then the next video will be about the copy to sell the things on the pages. But right now, I want you just conceptually thinking about like, what do you have to offer people? Okay, of all the products and the services and the ideas and the things that you have, what's the logical progression you can take somebody through to give them more and more value so they can build a relationship with you? They can buy your products, they can buy your services, and you can change their life. That is the goal. So that is the assignment right now. And the other thing is, if you don't have a copy of this book yet, I highly recommend, we'll have a link down below to go get it. And again, this will teach you all about funnel structure. It's going to teach you about value ladders and a whole bunch of other things. This will help you understand the strategy of funnels in a much deeper way. So get the book if you don't have it yet as well. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next training.